Maybe you're not bad at English at all. Maybe you just had an experience where you spoke English and nobody understood you. After that, you became afraid to speak again. Think about your own life. You have studied English for many years. You know vocabulary. You can read. You can understand some listening. You can pass exams. But when it's time to speak, everything feels so different. The first time you try to speak, you prepare your sentence carefully in your head. But when you finally said it, the other person looked confused. Maybe they ask, sorry, what did you mean? Sorry, what did you say? Or maybe they just stay silent. And the problem was not only that they didn't understand you. You also started to doubt yourself. After that, something changed. You stopped trying to speak. You chose to stay quiet. You had many ideas in your head, but you didn't want to say them out loud because the same thoughts keep coming back. What if I make a mistake again? What if they don't understand me again? And what if I look bad? But the truth is, it's not because you don't know English. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's because you never had a chance to practice speaking with real feedback. Think about this. You speak English, then people don't understand, but you don't know what went wrong, so you guess.Then maybe the same mistake happened again and again and again and again. Over time, you kind of doubt yourself. Your confidence gets lower and lower. The cycle looks like this. You speak, no one understands. You lose confidence, you avoid speaking, you become less fluent, and then it's a loop. The problem is not that you're bad at English. The problem is that you've never been in a system that helps you improve.Well, first, forget the idea. I need to be very good, very perfect before I can speak. That's not how language works. And I learned this the hard way. English is not something you memorize. English is a communication. So you learn it by using it. The more you use it, the more you learn. And while you're speaking, you're also learning.There is an important psychology concept called self-efficacy by Albert Bandura. It means the belief that you can do something. It's not about skill. It's about belief. The process looks like this. You start to try something new. You let yourself try. You let yourself make a mistake. Then you become braver. The more you try, the more you become braver.Then when you're brave, you're ready to try something else, then you gain more confidence. The more you gain confidence, that's how you improve speaking skill. I know this secret works so well. That's why I encourage my students, all of my students in every classes to start speaking, to start pronouncing some new vocabularies, to start using the sentence. No matter how much mistake they make,That's not important. The important thing is they let themselves try something new, something that they never have done before in their life, something that was holding them back from being fluent, which is speaking. So I encourage everyone to speak, even through writing, through pronouncing things, through making videos, to talking about their stories. That's why they're moving from English learner to English speaker. One of the biggest problems of Thai English learner community is we understand when native speakers speak. But when it comes to our turn to give a reply, a response, or give some opinion, we become mute.We don't know how to answer. We don't know to tell the story. This is not a listening problem. It's an output problem. Well, I have some techniques of how to fix it. The first one is sentence frame. Sentence frame will help you save a lot of time to think about what's going to be the first word you're going to say to the foreigner. Instead of translating word by word, use sentence frames. You don't know what to say?Start with I think. I think the weather is hot today. I think it's gonna rain. I think this advertising is very intriguing. I think, And the second frame that I provide for you today is I feel like having a bubble tea. I feel like I'm gonna have a headache. I feel like I'm having a sore throat. And the third one is the reason is. The reason is people ask you why you did that, why you did this. You kind of mute because you don't know what to start. Start with this one. The reason is why you changed your job. Well, the reason is I need to get married. Okay, for example, another one. What I mean is when people don't understand you, when people didn't get what you mean, you can start saying this. What I mean is, people often ask me, what do you mean by wearing the dresses or the outfit according to the code color? Well, what I mean is, every day has a lucky color, and today is Wednesday, so I'm wearing green. What I mean is, start with this sentence when you want to explain your idea. Start with this sentence when people ask you why. Start with this sentence, easy sentence frame when you want to tell your feeling. And start with I think when you want to tell your opinion. You don't need to build the whole sentence from scratch. You just complete the frame. You have the frame and then you add something, And another technique is called the echo technique. You just repeat a small part first. For example, that person saying, this project is quite challenging. And then you don't know what to continue. You can say, so it's challenging, right? When people say, this project is quite challenging. Then your turn, you don't know what to continue. What sentence you're gonna say? You can say, oh, so it's challenging, right? So it's challenging, right? You can buy time to think about your better answer with this sentence, with the echo technique. This technique I always use also when I speak Italian. When I don't know what to say, then I just repeat what people said. This gives your brain a few extra seconds to think. Then you can add your option, your answer, your opinion. Another one is people try to make a very complex sentence. You don't need to do that. If every time it makes you mute, you can try one idea and one sentence. Don't try to speak for a long time in real conversation. One sentence usually expresses one idea. Don't look for the perfect answer. Just look for an answer that you can just say it quickly. Many learners understand every rule, but when it's time to reply, they start thinking, is this grammar correct? Is this the right tense? Is this vocabulary okay for this situation? And before they speak, the conversation has already moved on. People forget about you already. They just move on with their life while you're trying to processing what is the best sentence to say. People don't expect perfect English. They just want to know what you think. Simple answers are enough. For example, when people say something and you think it's a good idea, just say, I think it's a good idea. Or when you agree with some idea or you like it, just say, oh, I like it. One idea, one sentence. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Number 3, when you came across uncertainty and you don't know what to say, just say, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's gonna remind me some audio track that my mom played for me when I was a kid. It was about Hansel and Gretel. And Gretel or Hansel say to the witch that she's not sure that the water was boiling or not. So she said, I'm not sure. I still have that track on my mind. Okay, number 4. If you're not sure, instead of I'm not sure, you can also say maybe, to just buy some time or just share what you think, your opinion. If now your problem is you're kind of mute when people say something, you can do this at the beginning. One idea, one sentence. Okay? Let me give you another sentence. If you totally agree with what people are saying, you can say, I agree with you. I agree with you. Or another easier sentence like I'm with you. The motorcycle just passed by. I'm with you. I'm with you. This sentence I use a lot when many people disagree with my idea. Some people you kind of cannot change the idea. They have very very like certain idea about something, and no matter how much you try, no matter the better evidence that you try to convince, that person won't change their mind. And the more you try to explain, you kind of waste your energy. You waste your time trying to explain, try to change people's idea. Instead, you can save a lot of energy by saying, oh, I'm with you. I use this a lot with when people disagree with my idea, everyone has their own opinion and they don't need to agree with you. And if you really love your energy, you want to protect your energy, use this sentence, I'm with you. Now, even though it's short, but it's just a communication already. Remember, a conversation is not an English exam. It's an exchange of ideas. It's better than staying mute or quiet. Sometimes it shows that you don't respect another person who's listening, or it just shows that you're not interested in what they're saying, Sometimes that silent language. Now, the less you worry about being perfect, the more fluent you become. I'm pretty sure that I have made a lot of mistakes in my speaking video, but that's okay. I'm learning too, Do I look like native speaker? I'm Asian, I'm Thai, I'm from the northern part of Thailand, and I'm learning as well. Why this word? The real problem is not English. The real problem is sometimes you don't have the feedback system. When you have a simple framework, you can start speaking immediately even when you're not fluent yet. Now, let's have a look at some interesting theory. English is not just about language. It's a human capital. The human capital theory says your skills are your personal assets. What it means? It means that the more skills you have, the more value you create. This often leads to better career opportunities. And I have a real example. The time when I graduated from the university, I went for a gap year in Australia for almost a year. And then I kind of have a lot of confidence when I speak English already. When I flew back to Thailand, that time I need to apply the resume for many companies. People were worried about, what company am I gonna get? How am I gonna get into this company? But I was not worried at all. I have a lot of opportunities offer. I have a lot of company that wants me to work with. Then instead of being chosen, I am the person who chose my destiny, which company I want to work with. This is the better career opportunities that I was given by being able to speak English. Wow, success doesn't come only from skills. It also comes from the people you connect with. As the social capital theory has stated, English helps you connect with many people. The many person you know, the better connection you have, and the better opportunities in life, in career, and in relationship. Back then, when I was flying, I operated a flight from Qatar to Maldives. That flight was very tiring, and no colleagues want to go out with me because everyone want to rest in the room. But I decided, I want to see Maldives. I want to explore everything. So I decided to go alone. I took a boat, I went on an island, and I just went to see something beautifully. That time, and this time as well, Maldives was very famous for a honeymoon couple. Everywhere where I looked, there were only honeymoon couples. And that time I was kind of heartbroken, It's kind of sad to see those people hanging out. Then I went inside the restaurant. I saw one woman who was just, walking by. So I just say hi randomly and we started chat. We share our stories about relationship. Strange enough, she's a stranger and I was a stranger too. We share about our relationship, how to look at things. And that time she shared a very valid lesson about relationship. She said, if the person is right for you, you don't need to try that hard. You just need to be yourself. And that's a really valid lesson, very solid lesson as well from a stranger. And that time, just because I started speak something, I started make a conversation, we became friends. When I brought my mother and my sister to Maldives, we went for traveling. I just tried to contact her and we still keep in touch until today. The time when I met her was like 10 years ago, but we still keep in touch still today. She shared the best restaurant, she shared, what's the best spot to see. It's very interesting. When you can communicate another language, you can connect with more people. You can understand their story. You exchange the energy by sharing your story too, and you become friends forever. Friends for life. I have another couple like from France. They visit Phra, which is my hometown in the northern part of Thailand. They just came to have some dinner at the restaurant, and that restaurant, they're selling hot pot. That time I was hanging out with my friend. That was the time when I finished the high school. It was the end of the semester or something. I don't really remember. That time I was staring at that couple, and they seems very confused, and I don't understand why I didn't start to eat. That restaurant was a hot pot, like traditional hot pot. The restaurant where you need to go get something, some piece of some vegetables or some meat, and you kind of need to barbecue that meat on that pot and also boil the vegetables. I think it's pretty new idea for foreigners, and I've never seen this kind of thing. So I was, wondering why they didn't start eating, because it's a buffet. The buffet, you can have as many as you want. Because it was a buffet, why they didn't start eating? They have a time limit. If they didn't start eating, the game's gonna be over soon. So I was wondering. I was looking at them. They didn't move. They didn't know what to do first. Then I just start with easy conversation. I just say, well, would you like me to help? That time I didn't even speak fluent English. I was just, high school girl who just want to try to help the strangers who didn't know how to eat hot pot in Thailand. And strange enough, we became friends. One vacation when I brought my sister, my mother, and my dad to see Paris. That time we kept in touch again and we talked. And then they invited us to have some aperitif at their home. They provide the best selection of the coconut, some wine together, and later that day, they brought us to see the park, the beautiful flowers. We just had a walk together, and it was a really such an interesting experience. Just because I start to say, would you like me to help? Just an easy sentence. This situation reinforced the social capital theory as well, because I get to know more about Paris. I get to know more about their food, their wine, through people. I have a connection. I have my social capital. And that start with easy sentence like, would you like me to help? So English helps you grow both, not only better skills, but also bigger network. Think about this. What if you can speak English fluently and effortlessly? What's gonna happen in this 1 year or 5 years? Everyone, you might have the answer already. Let me ask you another question. What if you cannot? What's gonna happen in this 1 year or these 5 years? You also have the picture already. And if that picture kind of shake your heart, it's kind of something that strike on your chord hardly, then you're gonna push yourself to try something new, to try to take action. You know what was my spark? What makes me wanna improve my English every day, better and better and greater? Because one day while I was in the US, the first time when I was in the US, I joined the work and travel program from the university. And that time I have like full knowledges. I know everything, all the sentence, all the grammars, I know because I learned literature, literally. So I was so confident that I would be able to speak English fluently. But that time comes when I need to start to make a conversation, when I need to defend myself, to explain everything that was happening that time, to, make a conversation. I barely could not. Because I don't know what to say. I'm not sure about my mouth movement. Maybe I'm gonna say something wrong. Maybe I'm gonna make a mistake. Pronunciation also, like anxiety. So that time I kept quiet. And that situation, I need to listen to my fussy boss, to the boss that try to like scold at me, try to criticize me. That was the picture in my head that kind of rerun all the time when I was lazy. I don't want that situation to happen to me anymore. That time I was so uncomfortable. I feel so small. I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I had no value in life at all. I feel so useless, helpless. It was such a bad feeling that I cannot bear anymore. So I started to take action. After that time, I decided every situation, if I have a chance to speak English, even though it's not perfect, even though people will laugh at me or will criticize me, I'm not gonna take that as a failure. I'm gonna take that as a free English lesson. I'm gonna take that as the feedback. So the time when I changed my perception of how to receive criticism, then I started to take more action. I become more fluent. I become more confident. The more I make mistake, the more I learn from my mistake, then I kind of develop my skill better and better, greater and greater. And that's why I'm teaching this skill to you from my experience. People who can use English often have more opportunities, more job opportunities, higher income potential, more international opportunities. There is also something called signaling theory. English sends a signal. It shows that you can work internationally. Let me ask you this question. If you are the CEO and you need to choose one employee, everyone can use AI. But one person can speak English fluently, another one can speak English just a normal conversation. Which one you gonna give the job opportunity to? The first one or the second one? You have your answer clearly. That's why English is just not a skill. It's also the signal that you can work internationally. You can communicate effectively and also adapt to different environments. You kind of adopt how other people speak. You try to, be empathetic enough to change your accent, to try to make people understand you. You're showing the empathy through the effort to make your voice sounds like very easy to hear, very easy to understand to the native speakers. You're being very empathy enough. And let's summarize. English doesn't make you better than other people, but it gives you two powerful things. The first one is human capital. The more skill you have, the more value you can create. And social capitals. The wider network you can make, more connections and more opportunities that you're gonna get later. Together, they create more opportunities and more choices in life. Together, they create more opportunities and more choices in life. If you're not good at speaking English yet, that's okay. According to self-efficacy, starting is more important than being ready. Just start and you will improve over time. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they don't have the right environment. They don't have a safe space to make mistakes. That's why many online courses that I have created before focuses on making the student speak from day one. You don't need to be perfect to start communicate. You can make a lot of mistakes and then learn from your mistake. Or the students here will have the direct feedback from me. I will be listening to your voice like over and over and over. And after that, I'm gonna try to find the best method to help you improve from your certain level, from your skill. Some people start from zero. Some people start from be able to understand foreigner already. Some people started from can speak, can communicate, but not being fluent yet. So it depends on your level. And because my feedback is kind of personalized, That's why all my students learn from their mistake and then they kind of develop their skill. I have many students from many backgrounds. Like most of my students are women and they have really great career. They have really great skill. They are quite successful in life already. But when it comes to speaking English, they're kind of not confident at all. They feel like another person. They have very confident in every skill apart from English. So that's why they want to fill this gap and they chose me. And once they decided to take action seriously towards their goal and with consistency, they started to see the result. They start to have more confidence when they need to discuss with the colleagues, with their international colleagues. They started to be brave enough to say something in a meeting. They start to discuss with their Western boss. They start to use their voice more because they know how to make it correctly. This is a kind of a positive community where people have the same goal and they start to take action on their goal. Everyone support each other by being the best version of themselves. Just being the best version of yourself, then you become the inspiration instantly without trying hard. And that is also why I created my new project called Speak Your Story. This course is not just about listening and learning. It's a place where you start speaking from day one. Even if you're nervous, even if you make mistakes, because language is not built through memorization. Language grows through practice and feedback. If you practice, but if you don't have feedback, you kind of go on the same loop, you make the same mistake again and again and again. So my feedback will help you get out of this bad loop. Inside this course, you'll be able to practice real speaking. You get a clear feedback from me and you learn how to improve your fluency. You build your confidence step by step. It's gonna last 5 weeks. So it's a continuous program. It's just not just 1 day, 2 days. This is 5 weeks. But it's not too long that gonna tie you. So 5 weeks is a perfect time. It's about almost 2 months. It's gonna be 5 weeks that you'll be able to stay with the same people vibe, the people who want to improve themselves to get better at this skill. You're gonna be with me with a positive vibe all the time. My concept is not just learning, but you need to enjoy it as well. My goal is pretty simple. This course will not just help you learn English, but it's gonna help you speak English so people truly understand you. And this course is designed to help you use English as a tool to create more opportunities in your life. If you have studied English for years but still don't feel comfortable speaking, maybe the problem is not you. Maybe the problem is just you haven't practiced in the right environment yet. If you'd like to learn more about my project, you can check out the link in the description below. Or if you're ready to start with something simple, I also have the guidebook for you. Just send the word story to my Line official account at English Smile to get the free guidebook to help you start speaking from day one. Check out more details in the description below. Thank you for listening to my podcast. It's the early English podcast that I have decided to make this year. So thank you for being here. Thank you for walking along with my journey. I hope this makes your day. And if it makes your day, it's gonna make your neighbor's day too. Please share with them. Thank you very much and have a great day.